Hello, gang. Welcome, everyone, on this 14th of January in 2026. And today was my daughter's birthday. And said happy birthday to her. And everything's going good here. So let's just say hello to everybody in the chat now. Let's start at the top. JD from Grandpa Rails was here. He had to go to dinner, but he said he'd be back. And Bob from PKW Model Works is here. Bob, welcome. Let's see. Then after Bob, we got JD came back then. Dinner calls for that. Then James Dundas is here. Welcome, James. How you doing? And then we got Mason Dixon, RR. I don't know what his first name is, but welcome. I think somebody called him Alan, but I'm not sure. And let's see who else we got here. Then Dave from Dave BNSF and Scale. Welcome, Dave. He was in here. Then we got Jim Tedesco. Welcome, Jim. How you doing? Neat little toy you got there today. Dwight Curley's here. Hey, Dwight. How you doing? I saw somebody else, too, that I didn't recognize. Let's see. Darren Faulkner. Darren, if you want to get rid of that 2018 off of your name there, I did a couple live streams showing how to do that. You want to go back and look at my last couple. There, it explains it all in there. If you need help, just email me. I'm glad to help you get rid of that. Welcome, Darren. And then JD's, no, that's not him. He's not back yet. And then John from Schuylkill Valley. Welcome, John. How you doing? I think I got everybody. Oh, Dave from DB Tech is here. Welcome, Dave. 2 Daves tonight. That's it. So I got everybody. I think if I missed anybody, just send me a message on here, and I'll be glad to say hello. I think I caught everybody though. Yeah, Bob, that Harley that you see a picture of me on was like I was said in the chat there. I was in New York City working, and Harley brought in that. That was the first time they had a electric motorcycle. Thanks, Dwight. I'll let her know. And I was the first one to ever drive one here in the United States. And I took it for a little test ride, like I said, up Lexington Avenue. And it sounds like a Harley, even though it was electric. They just put the sounds in there, but I knew it wasn't one. I like my Harley when it revs up. It's Harley sound. It's a unique sound. And when you were talking about wearing sneakers and not a helmet, I'm used to that because when I lived in Key West, Florida, I used to drive my Harley all around the island all the time, and you didn't need to wear a helmet down there. And I had flip-flops on. So that's worse than sneakers. But, you know, you were only going 20 miles an hour, like going fast and anything like that. I used to take it up to the mainland, go up to Daytona and stuff like that. And then I take my helmet with me because all through the Keys, you don't need a helmet. But once you get onto the 95 and highways like that, you need to have a helmet on. That's the laws in Florida, unless they've changed them. But that was what it was when I was down there. So I was used to not wearing a helmet and stuff like that. So it wasn't like I had to worry about anything. Just like a bicycle, I never wore a helmet riding a bicycle, and still around. Yeah, I know. That would have been a neat thing to do, but I should have took more pictures of that. I did take some photos of that when I was driving down, and but went past it so many times I just ignored it all the time. On my way up and back and forth, going from the Keys to the mainland. So, but that and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we had a if we wanted to go to Walmart, it was 125 miles from Key West to the first Walmart, which was in Homestead, Florida. So yeah, it was a 2-hour drive to get out of Key West to get to the mainland every time you go up there. Because speed limits down there are 30 miles and below. There's only 2 spots on that road. It's 55 miles an hour. Only 2 spots there. So, and that one of the spots is a 7-mile bridge, which is a 4-lane road, and you can pass on that and stuff like that. But other than that, once you get off of that 7-mile bridge, it's all 30 mile an hour or less speed limit. So it takes you a long time to go up and down that road. So yeah, that's right. Neat if you're building bridges. Yep. So I built a few bridges on my layout, not many, but a couple. A lot of them are going from the helix to the main, you know, to certain areas, like into my yard, into the subway system, stuff like that. There's bridges that go across from the helix to there. Hey, Rick, welcome. Did your other packet, I sent you 2 more people. Did they arrive yet, Rick? I know Dave got his. No, they don't deliver. No, nobody delivers to Key West. Um, only UPS and FedEx come down there, but they don't. There's no food delivery down there. We have our own. We had our own. We had 2 food stores in Key West. Good. Glad to hear that, Rick. So that's all of them that I have so far. So, and when I go to Amherst, maybe I'll get some more there. Hey, Ronald, welcome. How you doing? If anybody's going to Amherst next weekend, I'll be there. I'll see you there if you're there. But just to let you know, the Amherst website now has the listing of all the vendors and the displays and where they're going to be located. So I always download that, and then I highlight all the places that I want to go. So before I get there, I know who I'm going to go see and do, and you know where I have to go and stuff like that. So some of the guys that I go see regularly, they've been moved to different buildings and stuff like that. So that's why you got to keep checking, because not everybody is in the same spot all the time. So there's quite a few people that I know up there and that I've met before, and there's some new guys going out there for the first time. The guy that makes the buddy board is going to be there. I'll get to meet him. And the guy from Scale Sound Systems, which I started putting them in my engines. They go there. Oh, you just started painting them? Yeah, it's a lot of fun painting them, huh, Rick? So yeah, that's going to be a fun trip. And I guess Artie's already in the country, so he's down there with Tammy, and then we're going to be staying with Artie and Tammy and Ray up there. And I think there's another guy coming in too. I wasn't sure if it was Dave. Maybe DV Tech Dave is going to stay there with Tammy. I don't know. She always gets a big house, so I got my own room. So that's what's good. Good. They worked out good for you then. That was great. What size LEDs did you have to put in there? Were they 5mm or 3mm? Which ones worked? I took a look at my HO scale spark figure today. That's small. Yeah. Yeah, I'm staying at Tammy's house. Good, Dave. Yeah, well, we'll see you there. 8mm. Okay, good. I know it was going to be bigger than 3. I wasn't sure if it was 5 or 6 or 7, maybe. I didn't know it'd be 8. That's a good size, though. They'll show up good then. That's great. So I've been working on my uncoupling project recently, and I found out that the earth magnets that one guy was doing, KD doesn't recommend it. So good thing I only put one set in. It took me an hour to remove the 4 magnets from the layout. That's how long it took me to get them out of the hole that I drilled and put them in. It was an hour to get them out. You get the right tool, do this or that. You know, an hour passed. I finally got all 4 of them out. Great. Glad you like them, Rick. Um, so, um, so I'm going to go with the KD number 322, which is the above the track ones. And I've been testing them on my bench here. I have one here, and I have a code 100 one for the code 100 track here. And so I've been testing them as I go. And the cars, I did 15 rolling stock today, actually 16. And I'll tell you about the 16th one in a minute. And they were all the ones that had the Talladega trucks in them. So I pulled them all out, and I had a big hole in it, and filled the hole with the silicone tubing that I had, and then I would cut it with a knife to trim it off. If I make myself bigger, okay, you can see right there, that silicone tubing there, and there's the other one right there. So that's what I do. I put silicone in there, and yeah, I know we used to use pick, that stuff too, but no, it's I got spots where in my yard it's hard to reach to get a pick thing in there, Bob, and So I got uncoupling spots on my track, and I made these markers with an M on it. It's a red marker with a white M, and I put them in front of the magnet. That way I know where the magnet is, so I can run the trains into the yard, and then I see the magnet, then I can uncouple it and then push it back in. So it's a real treat getting the couplers all changed, because I have a bottle here. These are all the old ones. It's getting full now. And gone through a pack of 158s, 25 pairs. That one's gone. I'm working on a pack of 25 119s. That's what I'm doing right now. And so what I was doing was super gluing the coupler box lid on the box, because when you push it on, it would pop off as you're running around a track or something like that. So I super glued it, and Katie said, don't do that. So what I do is I take my portable soldering iron, and I turn it on, and then I just run it across the lip here, and then that seals it. So yeah, so I had to do that on this car, but the other 15 cars, I was able to take my real tiny hand drill, and drill holes into the bottom of the the floor, and then I was able to screw those in. But this one here, I couldn't drill in because there was metal the entire length of this floor. The other ones had metal going certain distance for weight and stuff like that. So that's what I had. And then I just take my 3D printed, where's my tweezers? These are my 3D printed trucks. And I print them in gray, then I paint the sides black. I don't paint the tops, you can't see them anyway. But then I put the wheels in there, and I run it on there, make sure they roll smooth, and they do. So the silicone works great, because some of the cars I had, one was a screw in it, and the other one was a Talladega push pin thing, and the other one was one, and I took it out, put a screw in there. So I took the screw out, and I used to use cardboard or paper or a pick, and break it off, and wood and this, but then they fall out. So I cleaned it all out, and then I used the silicone, and you have to get the right diameter, because I have two different size holes. Some cars are bigger holes, and these are smaller holes. And every manufacturer makes different size holes. So I have two different size silicone tubes, and I fit it in the one that's the snuggest, where it goes in and it stays in there. One was just a little bit too small for the big size, and a little bit too big for the other size. So what I did was I just took some super glue, filled in the hole, pushed it in there, cut it off, and then it won't come out. So that works for me. So that's what I do. And then I then put the trucks on, with screws and some KD 208 or 209 washers, and then you can go up there. Yes, that's right. Because there's a little hole. The tube is, has an outside diameter and then an inside diameter. And that inside diameter is a hole. And trying to get the screw into that hole with a couple of washers on it is a trick sometimes. But I get it. Once I get it in there, then the screw goes right down in and it stays on there pretty good. So, yeah, I saw a guy doing that in a video, and I thought that was a good idea because putting matchsticks in there and all kinds of weird. Everybody puts all kinds of stuff in there to try and keep the screw to stay in, but eventually they come out, and that's these will stay in. They're not going anywhere. So then then it's good. You can unscrew it and change the trucks if you wanted to for whatever reason. But um, so couplers and the trucks shouldn't have to touch them after you got them working right. So that's what I've been working on, and I did 15 of them today. Behind me, on that black box behind me, there's a bunch of cars up there that I changed. Some of them I put back on the layout. I haven't touched the trains yet, the ones with the cars on the trains. Those I'll do after I get all the ones that were in the yard. I'm working on those. Some of the sidings that I had cars on. I got another one, a couple of cars around that I want to get them all out of the way. Thanks, Bob. So that's how I'm doing it, and it works really good. And I got rid of all the Talladega trucks on a lot of the cars that I had. Like I had 15 of them that had them on there. And you can't. The problem with them is, well, they run right, they run fine, but you cannot raise them up. You can't raise the body up with them. With a screw-on kind, you can put a screw in. I got one here with a screw on it. You can put a screw in the truck and then add washers on here. And then you can add another washer, and then that lifts the car up. And when you have body mount trucks, like all my cars are going to be when I'm done here, they're all body mount. That lifts the body up, and then you can get it to be aligned with your KD coupler. See, what I was doing was I wasn't worried about that as much, and I was just bending the coupler. And if I can get one out of this thing here, that I have an extreme one. Some of them I just bent a little bit. Yeah, like here's one. See how, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. See how bent that is? That's up. They're supposed to look like that there. And hey, Dave, another Dave. So I got 3 Daves in the chat now. So welcome. And so I'm taking, because of those I bent up, they won't uncouple on the magnet, no matter the earth magnet or the KD magnet. They won't uncouple. So that's why I'm changing them all. So I have over 250 rolling stock on the layout, and I need to get them all switched out. So it's going to take a while, but I'm getting there. Do a batch at a time, and probably going to need another pack or 2 of KD couplers, and we'll see what that does. So that's what I was doing the last couple of days is just messing around with that. So so the project is moving along. It's just taking time because each one of those cars uh, with the Talladega trucks on them, it's a, it's uh, how many washers do you need? How many, getting the coupler box on to the body. Then I found out that all my um, four hopper uh, cars, the covered hopper cars, was underweight. And so I had to open them up and add more weight to them. So, uh, that's all coming. And I got that all done. And that's what happened to the last car that I had. It was the Rock, the blue with the Rock, and it said The Rock on it. It's a hopper car, a covered hopper car. And the idiot that had it before me, I don't remember where I got it from. They super glued the bottom to the top, and I could not open that thing at all. And I got the one side pried off, but I couldn't get the other side pried off. And I then took some acetone and tried to kill the super glue, but my goodness, it just didn't work out well. So it's in the trash, and I got another one coming to replace it. So that's right, Bob. A large fleet and a large layout involves some repetitive tasks. Yes, it does. So, um, so that's so that's those are the things you find out. When you're trying to add weight to the cars to make them the right weight, so they don't derail. And having the couplers the correct height so they don't derail or uncouple and stuff like that. Well, I'm not going to put numbers on the Daves. I know Dave Nitch is from Stormy Scott Rail, Stormy, and I know Dave DB Tech Dave, and I know the other Dave. So if you can't get it right, Dwight, then you number them. But I'm not going to number them. We used to have a lot of Johns in here, all the time. When I was on live streams, there was 2 or 3 Johns. That's why we got John 7, John 2, John 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know, however many they were. Yep, that's right. White number 6. Can you shim the coupler box to the bottom of the HO car by chance, like I do? Yeah, you can. Yeah, what you have to do to shim inside the box. I use plaque card. I have a real thin piece of plaque card, and I cut strips of that and stick in there. But yeah, that's right, James. One's enough. I agree with John. Uh, so that's what I do, Rick. I just take a small piece of plaque card and put in there. Unfortunately, when you do that, sometimes the coupler doesn't move freely back and forth. See, this should bounce back and forth from each side. It should be free moving inside the box, like these are. See? And that's the other thing that I'm testing as I got them. That way, when you uncouple them, then you can push them. They should bounce back and stuff like that. So it's hard to get them to do that all the time. And so if I have one that's drooping in the box, that's when I put a shim in there. And I don't know why it's drooping in the box. I think the lid didn't snap in all the way, and that's what's causing the drooping in the box. So, well, no, I know who Dave Nitch is. I know he's Stormy Dave. He can change it to Stormy Dave if he wants, but then you have Stormy Jenny and you got Stormy Steve. So, um, no, because what I do if the coupler, I always test it before I seal the box. If sometimes the whiskers get caught in the lid, and then you have to take the lid off and then put the coupler back in and push down the whiskers a bit so that they don't get caught in the lid. That's the whole problem. If they don't bounce back and forth, is the whiskers, or it's a bad coupler. And sometimes I just toss the coupler and put another one in, and then it works without doing anything. You can file down the top of the coupler, um, the part that goes on the stem. You file that down, and that helps a little bit with and then filing the bottom of the coupler lid a little bit, and that will give there a little movement up there inside the coupler box. So, um, but most of them, when isn't raising the coupler easier than lowering? Yes, it is, because to raise it, you just add washers to the top of the truck, and that lifts the box up. Now, on some 3D models that I made of cars, I made a pad for the coupler box, and I made it the thickness so that it would align with the coupler tool. So I didn't have to do anything with the trucks or anything with inside the box or anything like that. So uh, this made a little pad, super glued that to the body, then super glued the coupler box to the body. You know, the cars that I made for track cleaning, I put the coupler box in the model already, and then 3D printed it, and it 3D printed the coupler box right on the model. So I didn't have to worry about aligning it or anything. I just might have to put maybe a washer in on the truck to lift it up a little bit, but um, I designed that better. There you go. Now we know Stormy Dave. Too late, Dwight. Who is Stormy Dave? Oh, come on now, Dwight. You know who Stormy Dave is. Yeah, so, my track cleaning cars arrived the other day, and I put them on the 3 trains. I ran the 1 train with it, and I had one hiccup on the track somewhere, but it wasn't because of the track cleaning car. I don't know what happened, so I had to troubleshoot that spot. And it wasn't dead track or anything. The train just came to a halt, and then, but the engines were still running. So something was stuck somewhere, and I don't know what it was. So I had to run it around again and check it. Yes, this here device. This is the KD a coupler tester. Put it on the code 83 track and roll your car right up there. And the coupler has to come to, equal to this. And the hose and the trip pin, as they call them, has to go over. That's this plate here. This plate. A lot of times mine are hitting the bottom of the plate, so then I need to put a washer in there to lift it up a little bit. And that takes care of it. I think there are files out there already, Bob, of this. And you know why I would rather have a 3D printed one? Because you put this on a live piece of track, it shorts it out. A 3D printed model wouldn't. So what I do, see, I have 2 tracks here now. This is a code 100 piece of track, and this is a code 83 track. What I was doing, I was doing all my coupler alignments on the code 100, and I'm really running code 83, so there's a slight difference, and it made a big difference. So I put a piece of code 100 here, and I have that jumper to this track, so I have track power on both of these tracks now, and I just take the one clip off when I want to use this to check the couplers. Then when I take that off, and then I run the car back and forth and make sure it uncouples, and I can push it to the end, flip it around, check the other coupler, uncouple it from the engine, and push it to the end. So overreach and underreach. What do you mean by overreach and underreach coupler? Katie has offset couplers, which are underset and overset, if that's what you mean. The problem doing I started doing that way back when I first started putting the layout together. Had cup offset heads, yeah. Okay, I understand. But the only problem with those are then they're the only ones that can couple to those cars. My goal here is to be able to uncouple a couple of the cars, drop them off at a place, let them load up or unload or whatever they're going to do, and then couple them again and then put them in the train wherever. So having the offset couplers, I was doing that on engines because the engines seem to always come in a little higher than the cars. Hey, Mike, welcome. Kapton tape on the gauge would help. Okay. Kapton tape. I don't know if I have any Kapton tape. Yeah, all you need to do is, the only problem is this gets caught on the rail, see? I wonder if there's some kind of material you could paint on here. See how this looks? Well, it's hard. It's going to be hard to see small on the screen. But anybody's got one of these, you look at the bottom, and it hooks onto the track, so it'll stay. It snaps onto the track, so it is very thin and electrical isolating. Kapton tape. I'll have to look into Kapton tape. See if that works. That's an interesting note there, Mike. And hello, thanks for stopping in. So that's what I've been working on, trying to get all these cars the same so that I can interchange them with any of the cars and stuff like that, and the weight in them and everything. These cars that were sitting in the yard and were neglected for a long time, I didn't bother with them because they were just sitting there. And I have ideas on how I want to move these around and everything. So well, how about this? How about putting a piece of that Kapton tape on the top of the rails where you're going to set that might be easier. I don't know. Have to see. Who cares? Notifications. See my scale. I can hook an offset coupler to my car that I want. It's nice to learn how to do it in HO scale. Yeah. So, um, if you can get the car's coupler to couple with this KD tool, then you have no problems running it on your layout at all. Because the coupler, I even take like this. This is the plaque card that I use, and I take it and I put it under on the track like this, and then if the coupler doesn't hit that paper, then I know it's high enough, so it won't hit. Because what was happening, it was shorting out on turnouts because it was hitting the throw bars. Not the throw bars, the verging track, and it would hit part of the rail that had power on it. It was dead, so it would short out the track. So that's because the couplers were too low. So all these will be tested going over turnouts, especially in the yard. There's plenty of yard. There's plenty of turnouts up there to go across and stuff like that to test them. If they go across there, they'll work fine. There's only one spot that I will have to really be careful with, and that's something that I have to do. What are we talking about here? They are molded into the turnouts. What's molded into the turnouts? What are you talking about, James? What did I miss? Uh, well, I don't see what James's first question was. Passenger locomotive, very close getting hung up. How do you fix? What brand locomotive is it? Your wheels could be out of gauge. There's a million reasons why you can't go through a turnout. It might be the brand of the engine that you're using. Yeah, that's all I do. That a piece of placard put under there. If the coupler is above that placard, you're golden. And the guy from KD told me, I spoke with him the other day on the phone. We talked for about an hour. He also told me that the couplers can be a little high. A little high is better than a little low. So if you line it up with a coupler uh, tool and it's a hair high, that's okay. But a hair low, you could catch something. You hit something, whatever. So, well, all my trains run at jack speed. I don't run fast here. My passenger train, no, that runs a little faster than the freight trains, but not much faster. And the subway trains run, they're the fastest ones. But everything else is running at 5 or 6 miles an hour slower. That's speed. I use that speed tester device and I run at different speed steps to see what mile an hour I'm running at, and that's what I run it at. And the trains seem to run better when they're running slower. When they're moving fast, a lot of things can happen. Oh, Kapton with a K. Okay, I've heard of that. When you said C, I was going to say, I've never heard of C. I heard of Kapton tape. Is that this is Kapton tape, but it's wide. I'd have to cut it real thin. I don't know if these come in different widths, but I use this on decoder installs where I want to isolate things and I tape wires with it, and this is this isolates the electric. So yeah, that's what this is, Mike. This is Kapton tape that I have, so I can cut slivers and put it on there. Yeah, this is good stuff. Bob's right. This is good stuff. If you're doing decoder installs or anything, this is what you need. Yeah, they make lots of widths. Okay, good. I'll have to look it up. See if I can get like 1/8 of an inch width or a 16th maybe or something like that. Next time I'm out ordering something, I'll look that up. Yeah, 1/8 or 1/16 thick. So this thing here is a 3D printed 130,000 gallon spear. The light is bright in here, and this barber painted it for me, and this is going to go up in the refinery. It had the ladder. I took it off so it would be easier to paint, and then that gets hooked onto there, and it goes, it'll go all the way down. So this is ready to go up on the layout, and this is solid. This is resin printed, all one piece. So, and it's solid. It's a heavy piece, but it came out pretty good. And I got it going up there in the refinery field. So I got some work to do up there. Put some gravel down around there and put some fencing around that and stuff like that. So that's another day for that. But that just got done being painted the other day. I wanted to show you guys it and go from there. So yeah, they do. Oh, in the sort of widths. Okay, I'll have to look it up. I got a couple things coming from Amazon. So the uncoupling project, I had a couple of packs of the KD 322 number of the magnets, and I have the jig for gluing them in place. So it magnetizes it to the jig. You put a little super glue on it, and then you push it down on a track. The jig goes over the rails, and then it places it on the rail, on the ties properly, and that's where it sticks to. So I had enough to do some, but not finish them all. So I had to order some. So Train World had them at the best price, and I ordered a couple of packs from them, and they shipped it out. And the post office is up to its normal shenanigans. Usually, when I order something from Train World on a Monday, it'll be here by Wednesday at the latest. Okay. Well, Train World shipped it out on Tuesday. It went out to the Metro Distribution Center in New York City yesterday. Today, it was in New Jersey at the post office that comes to my post office. So then I look at the app again because they were saying that the package was going to be delivered by Saturday. Okay. And it's never taken a week from Train World to get to my house. It's only one day usually with the post office because the New York side moves it faster through their system. And then the next thing from New York, it goes to Kearney, New Jersey. Okay. Well, I look at it tonight, and now it's back in Brooklyn, New York. So how did it go from New Jersey back to Brooklyn, New York? So they're just futzing with it because they don't want to get it here early. That's all. It should be here. It could have been here today because it arrived in Kearney early in the morning and should have went on the truck to come to my place, but they didn't do it. So unless somebody scanned something wrong somewhere along the line and it's still in Kearney, I don't know where it is right now. So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow what's going on with it. Or I might even look at it later on tonight. And matter of fact, let's look at it right now. Let's see what it says. Yeah. All it says is it's accepted in Brooklyn. Yeah, that'd be funny if they shipped it out to Colorado. But there it it went from Brooklyn, New York, where that's where Train World is. They're in Brooklyn, right? On January 13th, which was yesterday, it was in Brooklyn. It arrived in on January 13th at the Metro New York Distribution Center, which is outside of Brooklyn. Then it departed on the 14th at 3:12 a.m. from Metro New York Distribution Center, and it arrived in Kearney at 6:41 a.m. and that's Kearney, New Jersey. So they went through the tunnel to get to Kearney, New Jersey. Boom. At 12 o'clock, at 12:30 in the afternoon, hey Chris, welcome. How you doing? At 12:30 in the afternoon, it said it's back in Brooklyn, New York. So they're up to their shenanigans again. So who knows? It's always craziness going on with the post office and stuff. So my Alexa apps, all my Alexas that I have, it was Verizon's fault. I don't know. They all updated to the new version of the Alexa platform, and I didn't tell them to do that, right? So because they were kept on saying, "Oh, I have a new voice. Do you want to hear it?" Well, one time I said, "Yeah, I want to hear it." And they said, "Do you want to update now?" I said, "No, I don't want to update now because I have other things to worry about. I'm not going to worry about updating all these things now, right?" So they decided to update it for me, and I have several routines that I have. My entertainment system in the living room, I tell Alexa to turn on the TV. It turns on the stereo system. It turns on the TV. Speakers come on. Everything is automatically done through a Harmony hub, and then the Harmony hub is hooked up to the TV. And I set up the routines in the Harmony hub, and boom. And hello, Randall Ellison. How you doing tonight? And then I tell Alexa, tell Harmony, turn on the TV, and it works. Well, now they changed it. So now I have to have it relearn all um, the routines that I have. And like the kitchen sink, I tell Delta to dispense 9 ounces of water, and it dispenses 9 ounces of water into a glass or into a bowl or into whatever. Tell it to turn on the water comes on. Turn it to make it hot, it changes it to hot without touching the spigot. Okay. I don't ever touch my spigot and it still gets dirty. Don't understand that at all. So, um, so that had to be relearned. Yeah, that's right, Bob. Well, the whole house, every light in my house is a Wi-Fi light, and Alexa can turn them on and off. Okay, um, they're all connected to a Philips hub that's in that black cabinet behind me. That's connected to the internet, and it gets on the Wi-Fi, and like I can say Alexa living room on, and the living room lights come on. I can say Alexa kitchen on, bathroom, bedrooms, train room, office, all those things. All the lights come on. Out the front porch, the back porch, the tool shed in the in the house in my back that has the light in it. I can tell to turn the light on and off. Uh, well, I even have a electronic lock on my front door, and I can use my phone to unlock the door and lock it and stuff like that. So, and the key, I have a key to override it so I can get in, and I got a key to get into the back door if the front door is locked. So, yeah, I'm protected one way or the other. So, yeah, yeah, that Philips system is nice. It works really well. Lights last a long time. Oh, well, okay. Uh, so I had stuff coming today from Amazon, and they didn't um, set it out for delivery until almost 12 o'clock noon today. That's the latest I've ever seen it. So now Alexa, the new app with Alexa, it allows you to talk to it while they're still talking to you. So you can interrupt and say, hey. So I said, where's my stuff? And she says, oh, it's out for delivery. And I say, well, that's not acceptable. It was out for delivery too late for today. Oh, let me check on that. Well, it's the best we can do today. I said, that's not acceptable either. Blah, 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 blah. After about 5 minutes of bantering back and forth with Alexa, then we'll see if we can get the guy there earlier today. Well, they must have did something because that's right, Barbara. Welcome. So they uh, came shortly after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I got two filament refills, and they don't fit in the refill devices that I have. Yeah, that's right, Mike. So I said, there is a train ride they're offering at Amherst this year on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. from Springfield to Hartford and back, complete with shuttle. And then the train gets back, including breakfast. So you're going to be there, Chris? Good. We'll see you there. Um, Barbara has to go in for surgery in February for her eye again. They're going to take the what's it called? The cataract lens out and replace it with another one. They got to put supports in her eye. It's going to be, he said it's only going to take like a 45-minute to do it, but then she'll be Um, it's going to take like 2 weeks or more for it to heal up properly, and then that'll fix it. So it's gotten a little worse the last couple of days. Maybe tomorrow it might be better. It's up and down. It's like a yo-yo with her eye right now. So, but yeah, so um, that's what was going on with those things. So I then I got this brand called Polymaker, and they're refills, and they're relatively cheap. They're like $12 for a roll, a spool. And I said, "This is great. I'd rather do that and just put them on the thing and go." Well, they don't fit on the ones that I had. I don't know what brands they were. So I found uh, a 3D printable spool from Polymaker, and they have their refill spools. And I downloaded the file, but then I didn't have enough filament to print with. So I ordered from Amazon tonight before the show started. I ordered a spool on the regular spool, so I don't have to put it. It's not a refill one, a regular spool of filament, and then I'll put it in the A1 and print it on the A1 because it won't fit on the mini. The spool is too wide for the mini because I have a full spool of filament there. The spools on the A1 and the AMS unit are getting down, and the two colors that I don't want to use because I want to use them for special things. So I got I got yellow filament because I want to make some more yellow bumpers, and I like the yellow color. So um, for the bumpers, and I got a couple spots where I want to put some bumpers and stuff like that. So I'll make some more bumpers after I get the yellow filament. Okay, Bob, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Have a good one, and we'll catch you later. So that's what I got on order, and what can I tell you? Yeah, that'll be a great day. Yeah, that's right, Barbara. Everything takes time, though. That's the whole problem. Everything takes time. So guys, well, I think I'm going to call it an evening. Um, I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. The new guys in here, I appreciate you stopping in. Thanks for stopping in. Um, and if anybody hasn't seen my last two videos, I know most of you guys in here did, but a couple of you may not have. I did them on my turntable. I got the turntable working. I got the ACM unit working. I got it working on JMRI, and it all works now. So I'm glad that's working. So, well, yeah, well, we'll talk about it when I'm up there. That'd be good because I know Barbara's coming with me, and um, Chris, and she's never been on a train before, so that'd be a nice thing for her to get on a train. So that'll be cool. Yeah, usually Sunday morning I just go around to the buildings that I hadn't seen on Saturday, but the train ride will be a cool thing to do. So you get the tickets right then and there, right, Chris? So, all right, people. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good one, and we'll catch you all later. Good night.